Hello, hello. Happy Monday, everybody. So let's get started on our weekly session. Before we start, I suggest we give ourselves a little stretch. If you've been sitting for a long time, feel free to stand up and shake your legs. And then being very present to all the movements that you're making, whether it's your arms, your back, your head, your shoulders, really feeling all of these sensations in your body, already centering ourselves in our bodies. And then let's bring our attention and focus to our feet and pressing our feet into the ground, just to notice the points of contact between our feet and the floor. And that way, having an awareness of the earth underneath us and allowing a sort of exchange of energy with the earth, or being more present and aware to it. I'm sure it happens whether we're consciously thinking about it or not. But so here, just consciously visualize or imagine or feel your energy grounding with the earth, anchoring into the earth. And then maybe noticing with this awareness a little bit more sensations of energy coming from the earth to us through our feet. And then gently moving your sensations, your awareness up from the feet all the way into the chest and the middle of the chest, more specifically, where our heart is. And here, let's tune in to the heart first, either touching the area with a hand or tuning into the sounds or the sensations of our hearts beating in our chest. From there, let's just imagine as if our breath is flowing in and out directly through the heart. And here, just keep breathing in a very normal way through your nose, still allowing your belly to expand and contract as you breathe in and out. But just imagining as if the flow of the breath enters the heart when you breathe in and exits the heart when you breathe out. This is just to anchor ourselves into the heart a little bit more. And then, as we always do, let's breathe a little bit slower and deeper than usual. If possible, having our inhale and exhale about the same length, keeping a rhythm that's steady but comfortable. And we'll keep breathing this way for a minute or two together in silence. And I'll let us know when we are ready to move on. Okay. So now, as we are probably already all starting to feel the calm, the more relaxed state that this slow breathing is helping to generate, let's just first remind ourselves of the direction that we want to have for our future. So here, remind yourself where you are heading or where you are intending to head down the line. So it can be, if you're clear on it, your global vision for your life. If that's not defined, it could be some goals that are a little bit closer to you in the time frame. But just remind yourself of the general trajectory that you're creating for your future. Where are you heading towards? Where do you intend to go? Because now in the next steps, we're going to compare the intention where you're meant to bring yourself and see if your trajectory so far is already aligned or if it needs a little course correction. Okay, so after this little reminder of the future direction, now we're going to have a little contemplation of the recent past. So just looking at the week that is just finished. And since today is the beginning of March, if you want to, you can extend your contemplation to the whole month that is just passed, the whole month of February. So I let you free to adjust the time frame in a way that suits you best. But in any case, just consider in all of the areas of life that are important to you, just contemplate what works well already and what's not working as well as you want. Okay, so whether it's for last week or last month, just have a little review to help you out. You can imagine as if you're turning yourself towards the past. In your mind's eyes, you can also imagine as if you're floating above the recent past so that you have a bird's eye view on the events that happened. There is no right or wrong. Do it in a way that works for you. And for the things that work well, think of them as things you enjoyed, things you want more of, that you would like to nurture and maintain in your life. And for the things that don't work or don't work as well as you want, think about them as what you want less of, what you would rather change or course correct, what you would rather let go of. So try to refrain from any judgment as this is good or bad, but more like this is what I want more of, or this is what I want less of. And when you're looking at things, especially things that don't work, make sure to notice, is it just the result or is it the journey to the result? Because sometimes we don't get results that we want, but still the journey to the results had loads of very nurturing, nourishing, interesting parts. So just make sure you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, and just notice sometimes what's results and what's process, and in the process what works and what doesn't. Okay, and I'm gonna stay silent for another 2 minutes so you can keep reflecting in peace. I'll let you know when we're ready to move on. Okay, 1 more minute reflecting on last week or last month. Okay, and we're gonna close this step of the meditation with one question. If a version of last week or last month was to repeat itself into the future over and over, would it bring you closer to your goals and your vision for the future? Or is it not in alignment yet? So just get a sense. We want to check if the general direction we are currently walking is already aligned or not with the trajectory that we are intending to be on. So here, there's no need for exact precision, but just a general sense, whether you're good or you're off, a little bit off or way off. And whatever the answer is, perfect. Let's not judge it, because now what we are doing in this next step is course correcting anyway and making sure we are designing, we are crafting our intention for the week that is starting today so that we are bringing ourselves back in alignment. And to do that, which is actually the fun part, let's just first invite our imagination to come play with us. And now we're gonna literally imagine out of thin air the best possible version of the week that is starting today. Since it's the beginning of the month and you want also to extend this to having a full month imaginative creation, feel free to do that too. So whether you're adjusting the time frame to week or month is up to you, but in any case, dream as large and creatively as you can. So we are going to imagine the best possible outcomes, best possible scenarios, and I always recommend that you start by first imagining yourself in this best possible version of you, a version of you where you're in the flow. You're generating a flow of energy that is creative, productive, that's a state where you make decisions with ease, you take action with excitement and motivation. You create connections with other people easily. Really, you're in the flow. So just imagine yourself, or remember a time when you were in the flow, one or the other. Imagining, and now imagining when you're in this state, what can you possibly make happen, create, and generate in the week or month that is starting now? So, what are you generating yourself? All those things that are in your control that you're making happen. Decisions, actions, connections. How do you relate to things and people around you? It can be very simply starting by imagining this to-do list of yours. Maybe there are things that your best version is very keen on making happen now. And maybe there are things that the best version of you, the version of you that's in the flow, is going to consider maybe not priority or not necessary or obsolete. So you can start with imagining all of that. And what happens when you're in such a productive, effective flow? What does your week or month sound like, looks like, feels like? And then as you're building this virtual imagery of you in the flow and everything that you're creating as a result, you'll of course run into other people So extend your imagination to noticing how you impact the people around you when you're in that state. So how do your actions, your decision influence or impact people around you? And how this flow is having positive, contagiously positive impact around you. Just imagining everything that you're creating, how it impacts the people around you. And by extension, noticing how that creates opportunities, possibilities beyond yourself. Noticing how this flow is contagious from you to other people, how it influences other people, how those people influence other people, and how you're creating a ripple effect of positive flow in your environment, in your community, maybe in your workplace, in your family. And as you keep imagining what the week or the month looks like and feels like and sounds like as a result, now you might start to imagine or notice how this also comes back to you, how this creates opportunities for you too. This creates like a snowball effect that ripples out into the world positively, and as a result, opportunities come back to you that are beneficial. Maybe decisions are being made that work out for your highest good, the highest good of everyone involved. Maybe this open doors for people you love, people you know, and in turns it open more doors and more opportunities for you too. So what does that sound like, feels like, looks like? Allow yourself to imagine. Sometimes just even letting your imagination wander and wonder what could that look like, and see if some ideas pop in that you would never even have thought about. Keep imagining these waves, how this flow of yours is propagating from layers of people to layers of people, and how this creates connections and possibilities for everyone, including yourself. And have fun imagining what those possibilities are for you. And in the next round of this imagination part, allow yourself to imagine things that may look or sound totally random, like possibilities that you would love to see entering your experience. You might not know how it could possibly be the case, but just imagine it anyway. Because now Now you know that this ripple effect of flow you're creating that extends from people to people to people to people eventually could come back to you as a random surprise, something unexpected. So just have fun imagining what those things could be, what you would like them to be. What does your week, your months look like, feels like, sounds like? Who do you see becoming part of your environment, of your relationships, of your connections? What type of opportunities are coming your way? And then to slowly close this imagination chapter, let's acknowledge that as creative as we are, currently we're only able to imagine based on what we know or what we have concept for, and that even our imagination right now has its own limitations. And let's set an intention that we are totally open and willing to receive and welcome opportunities and possibilities that belong to a paradigm even beyond what we are able to imagine right now. So if and when we are seeing possibilities, opportunities coming our way, let's make sure, let's make an agreement with ourselves that yes, first we will recognize them for what they are, because they might look very different from what we had envisioned. They might look very unfamiliar. So let's have this intention that we will recognize them first, and second, that we will welcome them into our experience, even if they look very unfamiliar or different. So that way, we're setting that intention that yes, we have a certain version of reality that we're imagining, but yet we're totally willing to detach from what it could look like in real life. And we're open to welcome something totally different, something that looks different, that would have the same energy, but that looks different. So allow yourself to agree to that for yourself. And then I want to invite you to now notice how you're feeling. We've just imagined best scenarios for a few moments. How does that feel? Remember, your mind doesn't really know the difference between real or imagined. So right now, this is all very true. All of this. And how does that feel in the body? Maybe these are feelings you know very well that you're able to name. Or maybe they're still just sensations you don't know. You couldn't put a name to it, but you're feeling it in your body. And now I'm going to invite you to imagine or visualize as if these sensations are flowing in and out directly through your heart with each cycle of breath. Every time you inhale, it's as if these sensations are pumping into yourself from your heart. They're entering, flowing into yourself where you find them, where you feel them with more intensity. And with each exhale, it's as if you're radiating out these sensations into the world, as if you're sharing them. They're flowing out from your heart in the space around you and in front of you. There's that exchange with each cycle of breath. When you breathe in, you feel them inside yourself. And when you breathe out, you radiate them out, outside yourself. Every time you breathe in, you feel them with more intensity to your bone. All your cells are vibrating to the tune of these sensations. And when you breathe out, as if these sensations are shining a light outside of yourself, as if a beam of light is shooting out from your heart in the space around you and in front of you, created by these sensations flowing out from your heart, expanding your heart energy into the space in front of you, around you. It's as if on your in-breath, these sensations have a warmth that you can feel inside. And as if these sensations have a light that you can see radiated out, outside of yourself. And as you breathe in and out, you feel them with more and more intensity, and you radiate them out with more and more power. To the point that now it's as if your heart, are bursting out full to the brim. You're at the maximum strength of these sensations flowing in and out. And they are now so strong. This warmth, this light is so strong that it's now turning into a laser beam. A laser beam shooting out from your heart. And now allow yourself to imagine as if this laser beam shooting out from your heart is drawing, carving a portal right in front of you. A portal, a doorway, a pathway, an opening in space that is also an opening in time. So you've just opened a portal in time and space right in front of you. And we're going to get ready to go and walk through it. So just imagine in your mind's eyes as if you're standing up, taking a few steps. One foot through the portal and the other foot through the portal, and this is it. You are now standing on the other side. And just as you're As you're doing this, you're just noticing the portal behind you has just closed and disappeared. And disappeared with it is the timeline from the past. Your past timeline has now dissolved with the portal. So all that is left is this pathway to a future that's absolutely aligned with all possibilities available to you to make your vision and your goals manifest. So imagine yourself then taking a few more steps and starting to enjoy living in this reality. So breathing in deeply. As you breathe in, it's nearly as if you're breathing fresh air, renewed air, renewed air, oxygen that contains all of these possibilities you've imagined and agreed to imagine beyond. And so just feel as you breathe in as if your body is connecting fully with all of these possibilities. Maybe you feel tingling. You feel your whole body like a tuning fork, adjusting to this new melody, these new possibilities. So on your in breath, just feel those feelings, sense those connections, and on your out breath, breathe out a sense of gratitude, knowingness, truthfulness that this is now your new reality. Breathe in all of these connections, breathe out trust, gratitude, and just pay attention, notice how you feel, and even just subtle changes in your own inner state, your own vibration, this version of you. And now as we're going to get ready to move into the week, into the month with that energy, we want to make sure to fully anchor it into ourselves. And so now, in this last step, we're going to create an anchor that helps us to anchor this energy into ourselves now, and also an anchor that will help us remind ourselves, if we need it, at any stage during the week, during the month, of this new reality that we've created for ourselves. So for this anchor, I'm going to invite you to first bring your thumb and index finger on your right hand and press your fingers together, feeling these sensations of touch and pressure between your fingers. And then do the exact same on your left hand, thumb and index finger together, pressing, paying attention to all these sensations of touch and pressure between your fingers. And now doing it on both sides simultaneously as you're pressing your fingers Now bring all of your attention into finding a point of perfect equilibrium of pressure between the thumb and index fingers from your right and left hand. Bring all of your attention, split your attention on both hands at the same time to find this point of equilibrium and balance. And as you do this, your mind has no choice but be 100% present on this task, finding that point of pressure. Keep focusing on both sides at the same time as your mind is busy. It is 100% present on this present moment. It has no choice but to release any grip on the past, any grip on the past version of reality, unlearning, disconnecting from everything that would distract you from this new version of reality that you've created for yourself. Your mind is 100% present. Keep focusing your attention on both hands at the same time. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is it. Your mind has fully accepted and integrated this new version of reality into your consciousness. So you can release your anchor and just know that at any moment in time during the week, when you need it, before our next session, at any time, all you need to do to remind yourself of the reality that you're in is to press your thumb and index fingers, both hands simultaneously, finding that point of pressure. And this is it. You will be on track. Okay. Okay, so now let's bring ourselves back slowly but surely. So rubbing your hands together until they're warm, bringing them at the top of the head, and from there, we're going to touch every part of our body as if we want to remind ourselves of the boundaries of our physical body. So starting at the top and down, our face and scalp, our neck, shoulders, and arms. Then back on the shoulders, and this time touching the front of the body, chest, torso, abdomen. Then on the sides, underneath the armpit, and then along the rib cage, waist, and hips. And then at the back, as far as we can, top of our spine and all the way down up until our hips again. And then from there, hips, thighs, knees, legs. If we can, all the way down the feet. If you can touch your feet, it's amazing. But if not, no problem. Just press your feet into the floor again. With, again, this intention to ground yourself into the earth, connecting with it, and give it some thanks, some gratitude for a moment, for allowing our whole existence into this plane. Thank you, Earth, and thank you all for attending. So remember to use your anchor if you feel yourself slipping out of your flow. Use your anchor to bring yourselves back. And I shall see you next week for our next intention activation. See you next Monday. Bye, everybody.